I think we go away every year normally. So, just to kind of get away from that Liverpool cold. I became disabled at 8 years old. I ran around, I played football. I was quite a sporty kid before I had my injury. And then once you get a disability, got to learn to do everything else again. You've got to learn to kind of like pick things up off the floor, and you've got to learn to push a wheelchair rather than run. And I think sport for me was a way of doing that. I literally was discharged from hospital, and 10 days later I was playing wheelchair basketball. That was kind of where my sporting journey started, really. So I was playing for the Manchester Mavericks wheelchair basketball team. And within that, I got so many opportunities to try different sports because there was people my own age. There was children that had kind of gone through similar things to me, doing other different sports. So literally, I got to try like wheelchair basketball, wheelchair rugby. I got to try wheelchair tennis. I did swimming. I did canoeing and water skiing and all sorts of stuff. And then, I tried wheelchair racing when I was about 15 years old. Was when I first tried wheelchair racing, and I've been hooked ever since. The speed is definitely something. I think coming from a team sport, going into where you've always got people to blame in the team sport if something doesn't go right. Whereas in athletics, you're the one on the track. If you haven't done all the training, then it's your fault, and it all kind of comes down to you. So I like the fact that I get to be on the track on my own, and everyone's telling me to go faster as well. As a disabled child, a lot of people say slow down, slow down, slow down. So actually, for me, it was the freedom of just going. Everyone's flipping that on its head and saying, "Go as quick as you can," and that for me was amazing. You just got to trust the training you've done. We trained for a whole year. Last year I had 3 weeks off in the whole year. So, you've just got to trust the training you've done, and that's kind of getting you to that end point. Obviously a crowd helps. Like last year at the Commonwealth Games, we had 35,000 people screaming my name, which was incredible. And that definitely spurred me onto the finish line. Like I kicked with 200 meters to go, and literally the minute my front wheel came out, I heard this wall of noise kind of just pushed me all the way to the finish line. So to know that people are kind of backing me, and my family were in the crowd as well, that was really, really nice. That we didn't get that in Tokyo. Tokyo was completely empty stadiums. So then it was almost our Paralympics a year later at home. Like on my warm-up lap, I was really, really nervous before I raced, and I could hear the crowd because we usually got a call room, and you kind of sit in this room for 40 minutes staring down all your competitors you're going to be racing against, and it's horrendous. But you can hear the crowd. It just makes you more nervous and more nervous. And I was bricking it, and then got on the track, and just this, it felt like everybody was there for me. There was 35,000 people in there, but they were happy whether I came first, whether I came last. In Tokyo, especially, the people that I've grown up with playing wheelchair basketball, they were all in the Northwest, and then we've all kind of gone to different sports. So it was really cool to be in Tokyo, having support from people that I had, grown up with almost, and then they were there for swimming or for rowing or canoeing, and just people I knew there. So that was quite nice that I had that. But yeah, we're quite lucky, and we live just near Frodsham, and we've got like Frodsham Facebook pages and like little village chats and stuff. And there's always, make sure you watch Nathan. He's on at 9 p.m. tonight. It's really nice. I've got that kind of support and those kind of people that are looking out for us, even when we don't even know their names. Like I've got people on Instagram that always message me from our local area, just like, really nice to see you doing what you're doing. And yeah, it is definitely nice to have that kind of local support. To be honest, they're a wheelchair racing hub pretty much in the north of England, really. There's not many places that you can really do wheelchair racing. I'm just lucky that I live like within 25 minutes of Kirkby, which is great. Within wheelchair racing, you've kind of there's 3 clubs in London. There's one in Leeds, one in Glasgow, and one in Liverpool, and one in Coventry. So literally, there's not many clubs that you can go to actually try wheelchair racing and actually do it. But I'm a member on the committee, and I want to make sure that children have the opportunity to try wheelchair racing. We're doing really well at the moment. That actually we're getting a bit of TV coverage, and we're getting the opportunity to be on TV. Not as much as the body guys, but the Commonwealth Games. We had a few kids come after the Commonwealth Games and want to try wheelchair racing. So the fact that we could push our sport that way and bring kids in was really exciting. So that's what we want. We want that to happen. There's so many children that still aren't getting the opportunity to try sports that are for them. So if we can try and keep pushing it on TV and making sure that kids can see it, and like, if you're not being able to see it on TV, you don't know that you can do something. I think London 12 was a big driving force for that. we were all sat watching the Paralympic Games, and it became mainstream. I think it has taken a bit of a dip. So hopefully the Commonwealth Games last year, the fact that it was an integrated program, it was para and able body together, we were on the same track. We were showing that we were all athletes, all just doing athletics, just some sat down, some stood up. So hopefully, the momentum can go. It was 10 years on from the Paralympics. So hopefully we can have another 10 years of sport and of integrated sport and para sport being on the forefront of people's minds. I think we like that there is kind of a Paralympics and an Olympics because, for us, if it was integrated, then it wouldn't be the able body program that would take a hit, probably the para program, and we would lose events that for probably the more disabled categories would miss out. Like every time you vest on, it is, it's just that pride. You represent your country, but you're also representing your family, you're representing yourself. So I think for me, putting that kind of GB vest on whenever I get the opportunity to do that is everything. It's what I do my sport for. But the Paralympics is the pinnacle of our sport. So, I first found out about the Paralympic Games when I was 8 years old. The 5th of January 2006 was the first time I found out about Paralympic sport. It was the first time I tried wheelchair basketball, and I found out what the Paralympic Games were there. And 10 years later, 15 years later, I'm at the Paralympic Games. I'm on the start line. I think that's kind of not the end journey, but it's kind of the start of that journey that started when I was 8 years old. So just to be on that start line is amazing. And for me to have won a medal last year as well, 2 years ago, that's crazy. That 2 years ago now, but to have won a medal in Tokyo as well, like that was, it was incredible. The really nice moment for me in Tokyo was that you weren't presented your medal. It was kind of put on a platter and you had to put it on yourself. Mm-hmm. But as a relay, we gave each other our medals. So that was really nice that we actually got presented with our medals by people that have helped us win them. So that was something special. I've won a medal at the Paralympic Games. It's not gold yet, but it will be one day, and I'm going to do it in my own individual event as well. Hopefully, that's going to be the plan. I would say it's the best job in the world. I can't imagine doing a 9 to 5. This is the best job ever. Just knowing that everybody you that was I can't even describe how amazing it is. If there's a roar, and I don't think any other crowd. I think it's just a British crowd that can do it like that. I don't think there's any other crowd in the world that can do that kind of noise. But it was just